All right, welcome back to Mind and Magic, where we demystify the occult and talk about all things esoteric. So, you've been doing magic for a while, and you've really improved your life. I get messages like this all the time, that people are far better off now than they were before. But even though you're doing well, you look around and other people just aren't. In fact, some of them may even be upset with you because you're doing better. I'm also told that quite often, and I've experienced that personally. But now that you've gotten your personal situation squared away, and you've been wondering what to do next, well, then now it's time to start contributing your abilities and gifts towards the betterment of others. But in order to do that, you need to first know what it is that you're up against. Because while you were training and handling your situation, evil has been gaining ground. So let's get into it. Alright, I want to first start off by saying that this video is prefaced on another recent video that we've done on the Qliphoth. So if you have not watched that yet, I highly recommend doing so because this video is part 2 to that. The short version is the Qliphoth is the inversion of the Tree of Life. It is the opposite of the Tree of Life. It is inverted and therefore is the Tree of Death. Once you understand that those in power in this world are dark Qliphothian magicians whose goal is to invert everything so that everything good is seen as evil and everything evil is seen as good and everything natural is seen as unnatural and everything unnatural is seen as natural, etc., then all of the insanity and everything that's going on in the world today will immediately make sense to you. Now, some of the younger people may not notice it as much, but us older people certainly notice that everything is now backwards and inverted. And I've given plenty of examples in the previous Qliphothian video. But here's another one. Even crime and law are starting to be inverted, where criminals are just let go or just allowed to loot, while police are seen as bad and getting rid of them or defunding them is seen as the answer to crime. Things are being turned on their head, and it's not going to make anyone's life any better. And before you say, well, Frater, you're getting political, this is not about politics. This is a spiritual matter. This is a matter of the Tree of Life and the Tree of Death. Many of the things that you support may be Qliphothian in nature without you even realizing it. That's the entire problem. A lot of what these dark magicians do is they employ spirits. And these spirits are the principalities of air. And the element of air equates to thought. Air is thoughts, fire is action, water is emotion, and earth is physical matter. And of course, there's spirit. But these are air spirits, and their entire job is to change your thoughts in such a way that you believe that it's your thoughts. You know, it's said that the devil's greatest lie is getting people to believe that he doesn't exist. And that's a crucial concept here, because if you knew that the thoughts were coming from someone or something else, you would resist it. But if you thought they were your own thoughts, then you're more inclined to accept them. And when I use the term devil, it doesn't mean just one devil. Any malicious spirit can be seen as a devil. And their job is to get you to switch your view that good is bad and bad is good. And that's it. To invert your view and get you on the Qliphoth.
I have failed you, Anakin. I have failed you. I should have known the Jedi were plotting to take over. Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine is evil. From my point of view, the Jedi are evil. Well, then you are lost.
In Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan tells Anakin that Palpatine is evil. Anakin replies, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil. Obi-Wan says, well, then you are lost. Anakin has fallen into the Qliphoth. Everything that was once good is now evil, and everything that he saw as evil is now good. His entire mind has been inverted, and everything begins in the mind. It starts there, and then it works its way down the tree, or in the case of the Qliphoth, up the tree, until it starts manifesting and affecting your physical reality. Understand that it is a type of cancer. Its entire purpose is to spread to as many as possible. Why? Well, what's the purpose of the Tree of Death? Well, it's death. All right, so let's take the pentagram. Now, if you're in the magic at all, you understand that the pentagram represents the elements. If you're a Christian or a religious person, you will say that this is a symbol of Satan. But no, that's the inverted pentagram. The upright pentagram represents the elements: air, fire, water, earth, and spirit, the building blocks of reality and life. Without these elements, you have no life. Without spirit, you don't have life. Without earth, without a physical body, you have no life. Without water, you can't survive without water. You'll dehydrate. Without the element of fire, which equates to action, animation, think electrical here, you'd have no nerve signals. And without air, well, without breathing, you have no life. These building blocks are prerequisites to life. And if you notice that spirit is right at the top, and this is purposefully symbolic, that the spirit is above the other elements. Spirit over matter. Now, what the Qliphoth does is it inverts the pentagram. And now spirit is at the bottom. And this is symbolically saying that matter is over spirit. So those on the Qliphoth are more concerned with their physical needs and desires than they are their spiritual needs. They put the physical above spirit. They put their emotions above spirit. They act without regard to spirit and their thoughts and inflated ego. Did you ever wonder why they describe the word ego as inflated? Air, inflated? They put that above spirit as well. And this is a symbol most commonly associated with Satan and Satanism. And, it's somewhat true if you go by the definition of Satan, which is the adversary. And what is an adversary? Well, it's someone who opposes or is in opposition to you. And if you are in opposition or oppose someone, then you are opposite them, much like the tree of death is opposite the tree of life. Are you with me so far? Now, whether you believe in the Christian idea of Satan or not doesn't really matter much, because in their version, Satan's purpose is to lie, kill, and destroy, and that's pretty much what those trying to get people on the tree of death are out to do. It would be much easier if there were a Satan, and I believe that's why Christianity adopted such a notion, to make it simple that, God equals good and devil equals bad. But the real world and people are more complex than that, because you have a lot of good people that just have bad ideas that aren't even necessarily their own. They were planted there with all the dark magic going on, who then end up doing bad things. And even that's a simplified way of putting it. I should use the term inverted instead of bad. If you don't know that the thought has been inverted, how do you know that the action has been inverted? Well, you wouldn't. So you really have to examine what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're thinking. Does it promote life or does it promote death? This younger generation has really got it bad. I mean, almost everything woke is quite Qliphothian at its core. And that's all I could really say about that, because that would delve into political territory. But now we're back at the start. The question remains, how do we improve the lives of others with all of this going on? With all of this set against them? What can we do about it? Well, what have you trained for? You've improved your own life, and now you can start improving the lives of others while also deflecting and protecting people from this Qliphothian agenda. Now, even if we suspect someone of being a dark magician, we do not target them directly. That's what they do. What we do is more like Aikido, where we redirect and deflect their attacks and what they're doing. Whatever little soul they have left, they are still a creation, and therefore we do no harm. Now, if you want to take it to a higher court and let the divine decide whether they are deserving of the wrath of God or not, then I would certainly insert some of these psalms from Psalms Magic of the Old Testament into the magic. For vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. They may be subject to divine retribution, but maybe not. It's not your call to make. That's why you bring it to a higher court. But to successfully defend against the dark magic, you have to have real discernment. You have to be able to recognize the Qliphothian tree of death when you see it. It may not have always been so easy to do so. But now things have ramped up to such a degree that it's not that difficult, because they want to put as much of it in front of you as they can. They want to be out in the open with it. And that's a discussion for a whole other time. But for today, we are out of time. So I want to thank you all for listening. Please share and like this video if you're so inclined. My social media URLs will be on screen momentarily. And I will see you next time. Take care.